Hey guys, Newbie here, and today I wanted to go through a tutorial for a new piece of software, and that's how to use your GamePRo to find a shiny surfing Pikachu. So the first thing you need to do for this is get the high score on all the Mantine surfing competitions, and then you can go and talk to this NPC that you can see on my console here. And then basically I've just uploaded the software. If you go into the Dropbox folder, which is you can find on the GamePRo website, and I'll leave it linked below. And if you go into Gen 7, there's this folder, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Shiny Surfing Pikachu. So there's a couple of different files in here. Firstly, this OpenCV World you need to have downloaded and keep it in the same place as this executable here, which is what we're going to run. And there's a readme with some instructions that you can use as a guide, otherwise you can just follow this tutorial. And then this one here is just the source code, which you don't really need unless you want to open it up and modify it. So we're just going to run this executable, and it'll ask us which camera we want to open, so it's normally just 0. Yep, so that opens up the webcam, and then it wants COM port number, which for me is 8. Okay, now it's going to ask for these, this one and another one. There's 2 delays, which basically what I've found, so this first one is the delay for when you soft reset, how long it takes in milliseconds to load the first screen, which it seems to be a little bit variable for different people with different consoles. So what I've done is made this so you can adjust it, and I found that value of 8,000 works quite well for me. And then this one, this menu delay, is the delay between when that first screen loads and the GamePRo presses A, and then from then until when the continue game screen loads. So 5,500 seems to work quite well for me. So with that set up, it will soft reset just to make sure it's always starting at a consistent position, and this is that delay up to that point. That's that soft reset delay, and then the delay to this screen, that's the menu delay. Alright, so it'll continue game, and then it's going to talk to this character and just cycle through the text. Alright, and then he's going to gift you this Pikachu. And there's a little bit more setup to do still. So once we get to this point, you'll see there's a little red box that's showing up here just above his head. What we need to do is locate that somewhere onto the Pikachu where we've got basically the sort of yellow colour. So what I'm going to do is just put that right on his forehead, and you just got to make sure that it's going to be there, even though he sort of bobbles up and down a little bit. So that looks good. And is that set up correctly? Yes, it is. Okay, so what that's done now, it's split out a couple of values here. These are the red, green and blue average pixel values inside that square. So it's going to use that first encounter to set kind of a baseline, and then what we can do here is set up a tolerance. So what this means is, and I've suggested here a value of 10, which is what we're going to use. When I put in a value of 10, it means anything inside, so either 10 above or 10 below each of these values. If it's within that, then it's probably just a normal Pikachu. But if it goes outside that limit, that's when it's going to trigger the shiny detection. So what it means is basically if you find you set it to 10 and you're getting a lot of false triggers, maybe you want to increase it slightly. Just bear in mind that with Pikachu the colour change is not that significant, so you want to try and keep that as low as possible. So we're going to go with 10, and then it will soft reset. So from here the process should be all automatic, but we'll just watch through one more cycle, and we'll see how those pixel values come up and how they sort of compare. So after every soft reset, it will spit out those pixel values, so you'll be able to see. It should be fairly consistent if it's not a shiny encounter. Does get affected a little bit by the ambient light if you have changing ambient light. So just be aware of that, and sometimes it can help even just to put like a box over the whole GamePRO so there's no ambient light interference. So we can see it's not shiny, and if we look at those values here, they're almost identical. The blue value changed by 1, but overall it was pretty much the same. So from this point you just let it run, check it periodically in case of maybe a false trigger, but also it may have found a shiny. So we'll just leave it running and we'll come back a bit later. And we're back, and it's probably a little bit hard to tell on the little screen, but we managed to find the shiny Pikachu, and that took 942 soft resets. And I'll just quickly highlight with these RGB values, so you can see the red values stayed the same basically right through. For the shiny encounter, which is this one here, the green value changed a little bit and the blue value changed quite significantly. So that tolerance value that we put in of 10 right at the start was easily enough to be able to detect the colour change. So Pikachu, the colour doesn't change that significantly, but you can see it was still a reasonable change overall on these RGB values. So yeah, that's the shiny Surf Pikachu software in a nutshell. So I've uploaded this code now to the Dropbox folder, which I'll leave linked below. So if you've got yourself a GamePRO, feel free to give this a crack, and if you've got any feedback, let me know. Don't forget there is a Facebook page set up for the GamePRO, which I'll also leave linked, as well as the website if you want to get yourself a GamePRO. Until next time, see ya.